still not subscribed to the partition, you know, it's a lot of ways that you can do this besides watching all the content. But before we start, always remember, go to the channels link. Every show that we have, you can always see every show before everybody else see the show. But besides that, always remember, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, put it on all. Until then, always remember, anything is possible. Thank you for choosing the partition. Now let's get into the show. Anything is possible. Peace. Be originator. You can talk, yo.
I got everything that you need to.
The firehouse, man. We are here in the Houston area. Hey, baby, you got a cold drink? That's right. My son got me this with my dad, so I can always have him with me whenever I do the show. Come on, wait. I want to laugh. Welcome back to Chopping Up with Lil Ron. Today in the studio we have a very special guest. This guest has nonprofits that she does. She does a lot of stuff with art. It's so much stuff that this lady does. I had to have her on the show. I want you guys to welcome the one and only Miss Dozie. Did I say it right?
You said it right.
Hey, you know, I'm glad to have you on here because I'm real big and positive in the nonprofit community and things that people do with art, because those type of things are things that I really love, that people don't really always get the shine and the recognition that they do for all the good deeds and things they do. But what I do is every episode I bring somebody on, I always introduce them to my fans, and I make them introduce themselves to my fans, because apparently your fans know who you are. Mm-hmm. My fans gonna know who you are. They're gonna love you regardless. Mm-hmm. So kind of give us a quick rundown who you are, and we'll go from there.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. Super excited to be here. And that intro was amazing. So thank you for that. So my name is Dozie Oheri, and I am the founder and CEO of Choose to Do Inc., which is a nonprofit organization that I started in 2016. Mm-hmm. So we're going on our 7th year. And what we do is provide mental health resources to mostly Black teens, 12 to 17 years old, that live in under-resourced communities. Wow. And the ways that we do that is through building up their confidence and their self-esteem so they can be better versions of themselves and then become change agents in their communities.
And you know something? People don't know, and a lot of people don't talk about this in the media and stuff. Mental health is a very, very important thing that people don't know, because some people go through some people born with mental health problems. Some people grow themselves into that. They find themselves mixed up in bad relationships or things that they shouldn't be caught in. Some people have mental problems from using drugs, and some people, they don't understand. Some people say, man, nothing wrong with me. I'm physically capable of doing anything. Yeah. Man, somebody can drive you crazy and take your whole mental awareness and take it to a whole nother level.
That's right.
In fact, I knew a guy. He was a writer. He actually turned back around. He was actually in the right frame of mind, and he actually took one bad X pill, and he ended up having like a whole different outtake. And he said from that actual X pill, his mental is different. The pill actually caused him to have a whole different outtake on life. He had to be checked in multiple psychiatric wards and stuff he had to actually do, but he said it's actually horrible. But you deal with the kids. Yeah. And how hard is it to get the kids into, I'm assuming you have a program that y'all bring them in.
Yes. So the way that we work with our kids and service them is through a series of programs that we have. And so we go to where the kids are, whether it's a group home, whether it's a school setting, or where it's after school or on the weekends, as long as it's predominantly a Black population and is underserved in their teens, then we'll work with them. So the majority of the kids that we work with, they are homeless kids. They are kids who have severe trauma that they've experienced, right? And they don't have support. And so what we do is we go in for, let's say, 5 to 7 weeks, an hour a week, and we talk about building up their self-esteem, building up their confidence, and we do it in a way that's interactive, and we
Okay.
have a good time doing it. So we don't come in and say, this is how you should be, this is what mental health is. We have discussions, we pose ideas and thought processes, and we create activities that are centered around that, and we make them fun so the kids can learn, but also enjoy themselves while they're with us.
So when you've been dealing with mental health, I'm gonna call them patients. I'm not gonna call them people. I'm just calling them patients because everybody that you deal with, pretty sure you deal with a lot of people one on one. You deal with them in groups and stuff. Is it hard maintaining them? Because some of them be in the. Do you ever have any of them that's like in the suicide? Some people feel like they want to kill themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
So we don't they're youth. We call them youth. They're not patients because we're not in a clinical setting.
Okay.
Right. And so when we go into a location, when we're first in there, we don't know what's going on with the kids. We're just in there to run our programs and to expose them to what mental health looks like and then how they can be different. With that being said, we have been like, for example, with homeless shelters and kids who have just been in more severe environments or have had severe experiences where there's drug abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, and are all the above. And then they have no home, or they come from one parent household or two parent household, and they're experiencing domestic violence. Those are the kind of kids that we've worked with, right? And we've had kids, especially in those settings, that have experienced suicide or have suicidal thoughts. And what we do is, especially in those settings, the kids, they have a therapist a lot of the times already in those locations, which is great because then you can refer them to the therapist, or there is a staff or a counselor that the location has that the kids can go to, right?
Gotcha.
So what we're trying to do going forward is working with mental health therapists and counselors ourselves in our network, right? That we can say, hey, Mr. John, we have Lacey over here that needs support. Can you support them? And we want to have that personal relationship with the therapist, with a counselor, within our own network, right? Instead of
Gotcha.
going to the schools or these locations to say, hey, can we utilize your people? Because we want to know that the kids are actually going to get the support that they need.
Gotcha.
Right? So we're building that part out. But for now, we go to where the kids are, and so they have either therapists or staff on there. There so kids can work with them.
Okay. So, how did you come up with the idea for all of this?
Great question, Ron. I experienced mental health myself.
Okay.
Right? I'm an adult now, right? And I still have mental health issues. Right? I'm a Black person. I'm a woman. Right? But as a young adult, as a child, I experienced mental health in the forms of I was a young Black girl, immigrant family, the only girl of 4 boys. And so in my household, it was very difficult for me to thrive emotionally, mentally, and physically. Right. And so I developed anxiety and depression at a young age. Right.
Wow.
And then I went to college, and then I had episodes in college, and I was like, this is too much for me to handle. I need support. So I couldn't go to my family because my family was the root cause of a lot of my mental health issues.
Gotcha.
Right. And so I had friends, but I wasn't talking to my friends about what I was experiencing because I didn't really know what I was experiencing. And then I said, I need to see a counselor. So I started seeing a counselor on campus, and then it turned into seeing a therapist. And this was 2006 or 7. And so I've been in therapy ever since then. And it's given me the tools to articulate what I was experiencing, identifying it, and then give me the tools to move through it and work through it in a healthy way. And at that point, when I first started realizing what I was experiencing, I was in my early 30s. I'm an adult now, and I'm getting help and support, but I'm like, if I had these techniques when I was 9, when I was 12, when I was 6, my life would look so much more different. So I want to make sure that I give that to the kids what I know about myself now, so their life would be much more different than mine.
So when you pick the name of the actual organization, you might well say, how did you come up with the name?
Yeah, so actually I was sitting at dinner or something with a friend, and I was like, I was at a job working in corporate America, and I said, I'm done with this. I'm not gonna I didn't know what my passion was, but I knew that I wanted to service kids, and I was always giving back, and I was community organizing and volunteering. That's my background. And so when I decided to quit my job, I was talking, I was having dinner with my friend and just kind of like going through ideas about what like I could do and this nonprofit. And she was like, maybe you should call it like choose to do or something like that. And I was like, huh. That makes a lot of sense because ultimately life is about choices. And I had understood that although I had experienced negative things in my childhood, my life was still my own. I had ownership over who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do with myself, right? So I decided to call it choose to do because ultimately you have the choice of the person that you want to become, if you want to become what you want to do with your life.
That's correct.
And then the DO is my first initial, and the first initial of my first name, and then the last initial of my last name.
Wow. And that's real good when people take their businesses and they actually name them after themselves. That's always good when you do stuff that's different.
It's etched in stone forever. You're never going to get rid of me.
Hey, that's actually good. I mean, you got so many people, man. Ford, General Motors, man, Maxwell House, man. You got just so many people that use their names. They actually Sam's Club, which
McDonald's.
So people, they don't actually really know when it comes down to kind of branding yourself. Sometimes it's good to actually use your own name. That's always a plus. Now, let's talk about this art that you do.
Let's do it.
Okay, so how did you come up with the art idea, and what type of art do you actually do?
This is funny because I've never talked about the art like this before. But I think in ninth grade, I remember very vaguely, I had an art teacher she gave us an assignment to draw. It was an M&M figure, a bottle, and then there was something else that we had to draw. And when I finished it, it was dope, right? But I didn't recognize how dope it was. And I kept that picture, right? And then I went to college and I took a couple of art classes in college just because I wanted to do something with art. So I took photography, drawing, and other things, right? And then I graduated and I kind of just would draw every now and then. And recently, the last couple of months, I started honing in on what is it that I actually like to do. Because I got the skill set. It's there. I built it over time, but also I have the passion for it and I have a natural talent for it. Right? And so recently I started doing some research to see what is out there, what's it called, and then what do I like to do. So I know that I like color.
Everybody loves color.
I love color, like specifically bright colors, right?
Like yellow,
bright
orange,
neons.
green,
Yes,
neon,
and because it's like my personality is very bright, and that's the kind of person that I am. But I'm drawn to it. I know that I like geometry, I like shapes, right, and I like hard lines and things like that. And I love gradients.
Gotcha.
I've been doing some gradients over the years. So I discovered it's called hard edge, where you use shapes and you kind of use colors to create these abstract pieces, right? So that's what I've been doing. And I've gotten confirmation. I posted stuff, I recorded myself, posted stuff on TikTok, on Instagram Reels, and got a ton of likes the first post that first reel that I posted, which kind of validated that I didn't need it, but it was helpful to have validation that other people like my
you.
yes. The next thing is, can I sell my stuff? That's the next thing.
I would
right?
even ask you that. Do you actually sell your
I have
pieces?
not sold a piece yet, but that's the goal. I want to sell it so it can live with somebody else.
So you have a art museum or like an auction?
No,
thingy?
I don't have anything. At this point I'm just creating and seeing.
That'd be good to actually have. They don't have a lot of Black art festivals. They have museums or private events that we actually do. That's very important. I tell people that's very important to actually have exhibits that you can actually go to.
Yeah.
Because we got the rodeo that people come in and they do they stuff, and you have other people that have little private art events. That's actually a good thing to have, and then you can actually have the proceeds from the art go straight directly back to your organization. And people ain't gonna mind supporting something that's going donated to an actual good cause.
Yeah.
Have your auction and everything to go to it, man.
That's a great idea, actually. I'll have to write that down. All right, auction, gallery.
Hey, I mean, I don't have no problem with it, man. I mean, I'll come do that. I'll turn back around. I'll go up there, man, and say, look, we got a piece today. This is what this is. This is the Kato piece, man.
Yeah.
I get on there. I can start auctioning it off, man, real
Sold.
fast. Yeah.
$10,000.
Sold to the plug.
Yeah.
But yes, so another thing I do want to ask with the actual after the art and taking care of the children, do you ever be faced with actual adults that actually have mental issues? Do you deal with those people as well, or no? Only kids?
Only kids, but we involve adults in other ways.
Oh, okay.
So we don't specifically work with parents of the kids or adults of the kids to help with their mental health, but we involve adults by way of virtual volunteer positions and internship positions, and we look for board members, committee members. All of our volunteers are mostly adults as well. So we require that when our adults volunteer with the kids, they have to come with an open mind and an open heart and do the work alongside the kids, right?
Gotcha.
So we're not saying we're helping you with your mental health, but we're helping you with your mental health as well.
Gotcha. It's like you piecing them both together. Like
Yes.
I'm helping you with it, and you helping me do something. We helping
It's
each other.
twofold. Especially with Black men, because we have programs that are focused on just black boys, and we want to invite Black men to volunteer with the Black boys because number one, we want to see that we want the young Black boys to have conversations with Black men, adults, about their mental health and vice versa, right? But also, it's kind of a selfish thing for me to get Black men into the door to talk about their mental health. Right. And so that's something that like I've always wanted like a big group of Black men just coming in and supporting us because we don't necessarily have that at the moment. But we are working to make sure that Black men are involved because I feel like Black men, especially being the only girl of 4 boys and seeing how mental health has affected my brothers. I have a brother who has schizophrenia and he has OCD. He's bipolar. He's back and forth.
I'm gonna have to reach out to my boy Larry. Larry, I'm about to get you on there.
Come on, Larry.
I'm gonna have to get him on, man, because Larry will probably be real good for what you actually is saying. That's like gonna be a perfect thing for him, man.
We need Black men involved.
Yes, and another thing I do wanted to actually ask that is like super actually important. Do you get to the point where you actually get mentally drained and tired?
Yes, all the time.
Because, a lot of times people will basically have you going left, have you going right, have you going front, have you going back, have you going over here. You're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And, and I actually thought about this. Have you actually thought about actually writing a book on everything that you do?
It's not in the works, but that's in my future.
Man, we need to make sure we help you. Because, these type of things need to be talked about.
Yeah.
And they need to be shared with the world.
Yeah.
You never know, they could be teaching some type of curriculum in college on your book. That's like a key important thing that a lot of people they don't know. Because we have stories to tell each and every day. And everybody's story is actually told differently.
Yeah.
So, and you seem to me that you like a gifted writer. To me, you like you're very gifted. And you can turn back around and you can do anything. Now, we come to the segment which is called Leon's Top 5.
Okay.
Leon was a cousin of mine that actually was killed in an 18-wheeler last year. And he's a big fan of my show. So I always dedicate this segment to him. What would be your Leon's Top 5? It can be an R&B artist. It can be gospel artist. It can be a rap artist. It can be a jazz. It can be a blues. Because you got to listen to music. When you
Listen to my music. Okay.
So what would be your top 5 artists that you listen to?
Well, I love Afro beats. Being a Nigerian,
Okay.
that's all I listen to all day long.
Okay.
There is Wizkid, obviously.
Okay.
Is number 1. Burna Boy.
Okay.
Tiwa Savage.
Okay.
There's this new artist called Crayon. He has like some really dope songs.
Okay.
And then Davido.
Okay.
Is that 5?
Yeah, that's 5.
Boom, 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 boom.
That's 5.
Yeah.
But, I like to hear people have unique artists that they listen to. Besides, every time you look up Beyonce, Jay-Z, I want to
Kanye West.
Kanye West.
Yeah.
I like people to actually be different. I want to hear everybody, artists, to be different. I don't want everybody to always be stuck on the same people. I want them
Right.
to actually show people as other genres of music that you can actually listen to. Not saying that my music is better than your music and your music better than my music. Show you it's other options
Yeah, it's
out there.
varieties out there.
Yes, 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 yes. So how can the people find you on social media?
So, well, first you can go to our website at choosetodoinc.org. And then you could also find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, at Choose to Do Inc. And we're on TikTok. It's like, because the kids are like, you got to be on there. So like, we're on TikTok, but it's not my favorite platform. But it's, yeah, anyways, you can find us on TikTok as well. And then to know more about us, please go to our website actually to sign up to volunteer. We have a program coming up called the Mindfulness Project, which uses yoga, meditation, mindfulness to teach Black youth, predominantly Black youth, on different techniques that they can use to when they're going through stress.
Gotcha.
Right. And so at the end of the program, it's 5 weeks. At the end of the program, we give them a water bottle and a yoga mat to take home with them. And so we're
Wow.
looking for volunteers. We're talking to Nike at the moment to see if they're going to like sponsor and also provide employees to come volunteer. It looks like they might provide volunteers, but maybe not sponsor, but that's okay.
Gotcha.
HEB also, as they sponsor us as well. They give us products and donate money. So
Wow.
we're looking for people in the community, black men, to come out to volunteer with our kids.
And that's a good thing. Some people don't know when you want somebody to sponsor you, all it takes is a phone call.
That's it.
And some people get so discouraged when it comes down to nobody want to sponsor me. Have you picked the phone up? Did you
It's
reach out
literally-
to them? If you tell them what it is, these stores, these big businesses, they
have to give away.
be able to back the community up.
Yes.
Especially if they expect to stay in business, and
Yes.
if they smart, they will do it because they want to be like, hey, look, I want my name to be attached to this.
Yeah.
Because if I have my name attached to this, these people doing good. That's going to bring more people towards me and my business.
Yeah.
So it's actually good.
Can I add what I learned about that? Because you hit
No,
a really
go
great
ahead.
point, because that was something in the beginning that I was afraid to do, was ask for money. But as a Black woman, you're told you're supposed to just accept what you receive. And that's what I was groomed to do most of my life.
No, you ask.
Now, once I've gotten over that, I've understood the only way, like a closed mouth doesn't get fed, right?
right.
And you have to first understand that it's about relationship building.
That's right.
If I can still call you and be like, hey, Ron, can I get some money? But if you don't know me, if we haven't established some kind of rapport, you're less inclined to help me, right? But if I call you up, if I check on you, if there's things that you have, it's building a network, it's getting to know somebody.
Yes. I do that with my magazine that I actually started. What I did is, talking to somebody earlier before we actually interviewed, they couldn't afford the $500 to get in the magazine. And I told them, I said, don't worry about it. I'll work with you. I'll come out my pocket and I'll pay the $250. You pay the $250. We're going to get you in there. And the guy was like, man, thank you so much. I can't believe. I said, man, look, I got to give to you. If I don't give to you, then that makes me a hypocrite, man. You best to give than always receive all the time. When you give to help people, because I know some people, they don't, $250 is a lot of money to some people. But I told him, hey, look, to help your business, to help you grow, to do a little bit more. Hey, because you never know who may pick up that magazine.
Yeah.
You never know where it actually be at.
Yeah.
I'm working with somebody right now to close the other deals out. So I always tell people, yes, man, you always be able to help people. You do it. If you get a chance to do it, you do it.
Yeah.
Now, I enjoyed you. I will definitely bring you back. And hopefully we can talk about some of the pieces. You have a art seminar. Something that you actually have that we can actually
You
show
put
the
pressure
people.
on me. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Accountability. I like it.
Yes. And so remember, anything is possible. Thank you for choosing Chopping Up with LaRon. Till next time, we out. Peace.